enjoyed it. I wanted to do this.
Well, the annoying thing is that you're spending all this time with us, and time doesn't matter to you because you're just floating around all of these timelines, just doing whatever the heck you want to do. All right, that might be why your hair looks the way that it does.
It might be.
Oh, he doesn't have much to say on that.
I don't. I think you're on to me. I think I gotta go.
Okay.
You're on your own. You're on your own here, kid.
I think we've got a budding YouTube star is what's happening. I think that what we really need to do is figure out the name of his show. So between his hair, his studies, and basically what he has going on, everything that we know about Justin, what would the title of Justin's YouTube show be called? I have something I would like to posit.
I thought we were going with handles. I was already ready to say FF Pompadour. That shit is fire.
I like it.
I was gonna go with FF Underglam instead of undergrad.
Yeah. Also like that. Anyone else? Are we having a draft right now for Justin?
I'm so not creative like you guys.
This is just an auction. No, this is an auction.
Here it is.
This is an auction. Yeah.
FF waste of money.
Dad.
This is gonna be his picture.
Oh, got him.
Oh shit! Look
You
at
gotta
that.
hold to the camera. That was me 2 years ago.
Oh man. If you are not here with us live, Paul is showing a picture of Johnny Bravo. If you don't know who that looks like, look it up.
It's all love, Justin. You know that.
Bravo.
Still is a waste of money.
Justin
The hair or the school?
No, the school is good.
Okay.
He's just about a 4.0 student. We're proud of him for that. But the hair product that costs probably just as much as a school.
I mean,
Not that bad.
Look at him.
That ain't your.
He's busy. He's busy changing his handle to FF Pompadour.
That's not
He's
your
like, how do you spell
cheap
Pompadour?
I'm trying to construct a tweet to tweet out that I'm on this open bar. It's just not
filling out TikTok grants.
Oh God, what did I sign up for?
TikTok grant.
Oh,
I love it.
I'm mad at you, Justin, man. Play on, man. Play on.
It's true. Yeah. Yeah, this is great. Well, we are, turns out, hey, that we're live. It's the open bar. It's 9:30
Right.
Eastern-ish. We almost made it to 9:30 Eastern, literally. I'm waiting for that one. I'm gonna, not Eastern, 9:30 Central, literally. We almost made it, but we made it just 20 minutes before. I hope that you didn't wait too long, that you took your pizza out of the oven, that you took the tap off of your home brewed beer. Shout out to FF. I always forget his handle because of the weather thing. Chris Allen, Mike, help me.
Chris Allen, FFWX, right?
XWX. Okay, I thought it was WX. Just wasn't sure. If you got a home brew beard or a beard, that's great. I can't talk. Mike, it's on to you. I'm done. You're hosting tonight. Good job.
As was pointed out in the chat by the big homie Aaron Bogan here, we've got a pretty crazy week. So obviously, apparently, it is really warm in Maine right now. Daylight savings really has everybody jacked up, including myself. I haven't caught up yet. Full moon and Friday the 13th coming up. So I think that's really what's got you all in a tizzy. Or maybe it's the trade that we heard about with Paris Campbell for Tyrell Williams from Bill prior to the show. I don't know. I don't know what.
Hey,
I don't know what it is.
You also did not preface that very well, like Bill. You need to say that is a fantasy football trade, not
Breaking
a real
news.
football trade. Okay, because Bill, you really hit us with that one. I thought we actually had some things to talk about tonight.
No, I don't have anything.
All right.
The guy that just basically looks at timelines, tries to stay up on what's going on in fantasy, has a podcast, and all of a sudden has nothing
Yeah.
to say. This is
man-
unbelievable.
The man that literally props up the chat on his own has
Right.
nothing to say. Like, this man is in here every single week. I see him. I like, you're in the chat frequently when, you're recognizing the Avies for the little YouTube Avi. Like, I know what Bill's is now, the Super Duper Flex thing. So
Mhm.
come on, man. Like, you are a frequent consumer of the open bar, and now you are producing the open bar.
Yeah, man.
This is your introduction. I need you to produce this show tonight. I don't care who wrote the show sheet tonight. Whoever did, throw it away. This is Bill's show. Okay.
I think Paul did. Paul, you
Oh,
wrote
yeah.
the show sheet?
No, you did. Mine's going to be on hair products, so you got to do it, Bill. What hair?
Yeah, I don't have that much.
You got it, Bill. Come on, talk about that Paris Campbell trade or something.
What's
do
that?
something. Do something. Start off, Bill. It's all you.
All right. Well, yeah, I don't have anything to say really. I'm just here for the ride. Pleasure to be here. This is really exciting. This is one of my favorite Tuesday evening events, and gosh, I'm just starstruck.
What's the difference from, hanging out in the chat with us? Not that you're like below us or anything. We're all,
I mean,
equal people here. I don't give a shit. But just like, what is the difference between going from the chat to being in here, man?
I don't think anybody can read the chat after the show's over, right? So
now
you pressure's on.
Okay, so you're looking for that after hours. That's what you came in here for, huh? Oh, Bill, I see you.
Gabe, we can't really walk past the elephant in the room though.
What is it?
Just real quick, we're barely 7 minutes into this broadcast, and you've said the word chat
Look,
at least 10 times, and you admitted willfully that Bill's Avi on
VIP.
YouTube Live when you watch. So
look, J.
are
Mike.
we having a breakthrough? Are we in another dimension? Did we cross over into something crazy in one of Justin's classes right now? Like, are we filming this on Betelgeuse right now? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, possibly a crossover between daylight saving. By the way, J. Mike, saving.
Is that really? Is it saving?
Yes, everyone listening and watching, please, this is my only thing that I want you to learn and understand. I could give a fuck less if you think that Cortland Sutton is not a good wide receiver or that Kenneth Dixon is not the greatest running back of all time. But it is daylight saving. There is no S at the end of that. It is not an account in which you are saving light.
I am.
J. Mike, no, you're not.
I
Anyway,
learned
it's
something.
between daylight saving and Friday the 13th, so it's quite possibly, some sort of thing that is happening to me where I said, I don't know what I said.
Chat
Run it back. I dare you. Yeah. And the other thing, J. Mike, is that we have a business to run here. We are yeah. I've seen the accounts. Okay.
Wait, is this a daylight saving thing that you're doing right now? 'Cause
Yes.
you said account.
I've seen the savings. I've seen the savings. And we have to support any and everyone who comes and watches this show, either live or in podcast form the next day. If you are live, it is Tuesday, 9:30 Eastern-ish. Welcome to the open bar. Next guest, let's move on from whatever J. Mike was spouting because it wasn't important or real. FF Pompadour himself. Justin, what's good, brother?
What is good? I just got an
I love
email
it.
for my
Pompadour.
test tomorrow, and it's got canceled due to the coronavirus or something
Did
like
it?
that. So I'll be
Really?
right back. I gotta grab a beer.
Give him some of your Pompadour.
Yeah, that 2 a.m. just hits a little differently when you're not studying. Okay. We'll come back to FF Pompadour. On to, you know what? I'll skip over and I'm not gonna go in a clockwise motion. So sorry, Roto Librarian. I gotta go straight to the dad, straight to the father, because I feel like he's got something to say. I always want to go to Paul right after Justin says anything. So, Paul, welcome to the show. What do you have to say about Justin as he's pounding a mango White Claw?
Dude, what are you doing? Yeah, choke on it, you young punk. Look at you.
Straight to the chest.
Look at you. What is wrong with you? When do you drink beer?
It was cold.
All right. You know, there's my hard money, guys, at work right
Yep.
there. Now, you know how much that cost me right there?
You know how much that cost me.
Between that and the hair product, I am broke.
Yeah. What was
Wow.
that, Justin?
That was a White Claw. It was very cold.
But was I sadly correct on the flavor?
What did you guess?
I said mango.
Yeah, unfortunately, I hate it.
Damn it. Why did
That was-
why did I even open my mouth?
Did you really get a letter that you're not having class tomorrow?
No,
I'm
it's
learning
my
a lot
test
about
Oh.
Gabe.
What's that, Bill?
I'm learning a lot about you tonight.
Look. No, man. You probably think I'm such a fucking fake right now. Calling out the chat and spotting White Claws from miles away in his little
You guys are
thumbnail. I'm
mango?
like, yeah, that's the mango. God, I'm such a loser. All right. Ryan, how are you tonight, my friend?
I'm good, guys. I'm coming to you from a state that is trying to get rid of daylight saving time. That's the state of Illinois.
Mm.
We do some things
Is-
right here.
Is that actively happening?
Yeah, apparently it's held up though at the in Springfield at the State House, of course. But I think it is time to get rid of it. It just serves no purpose. So
I agree. I agree 100%. It should just keep it the way it is now.
That's
Don't
right.
don't even change it. Leave it.
So that's all that's going on. I mean, in Illinois, we also have allegedly some sports gaming stuff that's going to happen, but I still can't bet on anything yet because they haven't got their act together. And we do have legal cannabis in Illinois. So,
Okay.
so we got Illinois. It's it's the new sin state. Come to Chicago. You can
New
gamble on
Amsterdam.
sports. You can take edibles, and it's we have good times here in Illinois.
Are you in or around Chicago, by the way? You don't have to publicly say that if you were incriminating yourself.
No, that's okay. I'm kind of a public if you Google me, my professional life. So I need to be careful. But I live between Chicago and Milwaukee. I'm about 15 minutes south of the Wisconsin border.
Okay. Well, this is usually saved for the open bar pre-show or open bar after hours, but we have to make up time somewhere because we started a little bit on the ish. Ryan, I am coming to Chicago, Illinois in the second weekend of April.
That's awesome. Cool.
If you know Jason Tran, look, him and I, we're gonna hang out, and everyone's invited. So
yes, just let me know the time and the place. I'll do my
All
best.
perfect. And on with the show, J Mike. What do you got tonight? What do you got? What do you got, man? What is it? Paris Campbell to the Raiders? That's what I heard.
Wait,
Can we just start
this
shit? Like
Tyrell.
start rumors? Can we just start rumors?
rumor season?
Yeah, let's just start. I saw someone. I think it was Ryan McDowell. Shout out to Ryan McDowell and the whole DLF family. He put out the tweet of like possible trades to like real NFL teams. That'd be fun. We can just totally speculate and just make shit up, right?
always make
I mean,
shit
this is the place. This is the place for. What do you want to make up at this point?
Who might be
what-
traded? Derek Carr, Andy Dalton, Marvin Jones, Odell Beckham, Stephon Diggs, David Johnson, Christian McCaffrey, Will Fuller, Alvin Kamara, Devontae Freeman, Evan Ingram.
Yo, how many times can Steph Diggs?
I know.
act up without
I
getting
think
traded?
it's just I think he is creating that hype more than the Vikings are. He's, yeah.
It's almost like the Vikings are like, nah, bro, we're not trading you.
Yeah.
Justin, this is what real men drink.
Oh.
Hey.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I'm
okay. Jameson will work
well,
too.
You guys about the hardcore stuff. I'm just drinking wine. Is that okay? Does that work or no?
That'll work too.
Okay.
Hey,
All
better
drinks.
to be
That's better than-
fair, this is look, Bill,
Mango?
especially to you. This is not mango White Claw. I know it's clear. It's mezcal. Okay.
Nice.
All this is better than White Claw.
Ja.
Dude, I
Man.
gotta go on a beach in less than a week. I can't be. I mean, whiskey, straight up whiskey is not bad, or rum.
Yeah, not to get off subject, but what do you guys think of people flying right about now with everything going on?
It's not
The
ideal.
kid's flying to Florida in a couple days.
I'm gonna be wearing a mask on the flight. It's okay.
I've got my own theories on this, guys. If you want to hear them, if we're going to
Yeah,
get
let's
into
hear
the
it.
Bring it.
coronavirus talk.
As long as
So-
you can make an analogy to football at the end. That's what I want to hear.
All right, I think I can.
Well, we got to go back to Stefan Diggs because that's what we were talking about before.
That's right. Wrap
I
it,
read
wrap
it.
it around to Stefan Diggs.
Okay, I'll see what I can do here. So I think like any player in Dynasty, like there are players that get hyped to no end, and then players that we just kind of dismiss. Polarizing players. Let's take a Derrick Henry for example. Derrick Henry is one of those guys that most people want to sell him. They think he's at peak value, but the guy obviously can produce, right? And I think that's kind of what's going on with the coronavirus, because I worry that there are some people that are going way overboard and going to Costco and spending $1,000 on toilet paper. And then you've got people that have totally dismissed it. They're like, oh, we don't trust the media, fake news. So we're just going to do whatever we want to do. We're going to shake people's hands. We're just going to do whatever the hell we want. And I think we probably need to be somewhere in the middle, because I think that those two extremes are going to cause problems. And I think that causes problems in the Dynasty community. Maybe a parallel is the film guys versus the analytics guys, where the film guys love somebody, but no, the analytics guys hate them, and vice versa. And it's a guy like Stefan Diggs, where I don't know. I'm trying struggling
You're
here.
doing
But-
great so far.
Okay. Well, I'm trying to pull it back to Stefan Diggs, where you get hyped that the rumors that he's going to he wants out, and he's talking to the media, and he's going to get out of Minnesota, but then you hear no, he's going to stay. So I just think with the coronavirus, it's kind of like what happens on Twitter, Dynasty Twitter. Like people take these extreme positions. There are a lot of people in the middle, and I just worry that there's some people that aren't taking it seriously enough, but then there are other people that are just like way too scared. We need to be somewhere in the middle.
Okay.
I agree.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a professional
Pretty good.
fantasy football analyst at Roto Librarian. All right, this guy doesn't fool around. I
Barely.
say make an analogy now, and he just does it. So okay,
I'm a
Bring it
D-lister
on.
at best, my friend, but I
all
appreciate
right, yeah, okay. Well, on the real, respect the coronavirus. All right, we don't want everyone to have that shit.
No.
It's not good. It's not good. Justin, it looks like you have something to share. It appears that you have women watching the show or something. What are you wearing, Justin?
I just put on a Stefan Diggs jersey shirt.
Yeah.
It's, my favorite player in the NFL, so I got to represent.
Is he?
but,
Is he your favorite paper?
He is my
Player?
favorit player. My dad can vouch for that, right, Dad?
I'll vouch for that.
All right.
Okay, yeah. Get him the fuck out of Minnesota. That's what I want.
Free digs. Big trust.
Where do you
Diggs.
want him?
Just get
Where do
this-
you want him to go?
Yeah.
All right. So ideal spots, there is none. I mean, I don't know. Any team that wants to utilize him. So I think that if the Patriots give up their first round pick for him, Brady stays. They should
Brady's
do
not
that. I don't see why
Brady's
you wouldn't.
not staying.
I think he's gonna stay though. We can get that. in a
Brady's
second,
not
but
staying.
I don't know. I could see Dick and Brady connection. That'd be nice, but I think Raiders are a bit more realistic landing spot. They could probably trade for him since they have so much draft capital. But then you mentioned Odell Beckham as a possible trade candidate. I could see him going to the Raiders and having Brady also go to the Raiders. And Odell's my second favorite player, so I wouldn't have any obligations against that either. I don't know. I think Brady pairing with him would be nice because, greatest.
All the talk is he's going to Tennessee. That's all I keep hearing. I even heard it today.
because these kids are enrolled there.
So I don't know where's he going. Somebody help me out with this. I don't think he's going to
He's staying.
stay. He's
gonna
he's
stay.
already got 5 rings there. He's done all he can there. He's either got to retire or move
6.
on. I think if he stays there, ever since Gronk left, they're not the same. Then they haven't been the
Doesn't he
same
have
team.
strings?
I have the hardest time seeing Tom Brady not back in New England. I mean, as fun as it might be to think about, like man, he could go here, and like every machination that I think of in my head is like, there's no way they're letting him out of New England. That's where I always land. With Steph Diggs, though, can we? And I don't know if these teams would trade because they're always beefing in the playoffs. Could we get Diggs to the Eagles?
Oh, baby.
All my Diggs shares increasing.
Yeah.
It's definitely possible. I mean, they're probably going wide receiver in the first round. Why not trade for Diggs instead of getting like a Justin Jefferson type player?
Yeah, what do they have to give up to get Diggs? I mean, does Minnesota?
I think first.
You think a first round pick gets it done?
I think I told her like really looking for is just like a first round pick. I don't like.
Yeah, they got to get more than that. You got to get more than that for him. What pick
You would
does
think
Philly have?
so. 23rd.
Nah,
Top of my head.
they're not
I
going
could
to
be
get
wrong.
a 23rd pick for Diggs. That's not even fair.
Well, remember, let's take it back to Justin's favorite team here with the good old Cleveland Brownies.
Oh, that's
when
not
they-
his
when-
team anymore. Wait a minute.
I don't deserve a team after
Uh-oh.
that helmet incident. I don't deserve one.
We just did a podcast tonight. Okay, we just did a podcast tonight. I told him how he ran on them because they suck. So I told him, why don't this year? Because the year before you were a Giant fan, last year you followed Odell, the head case that he is, to Cleveland. And you said they'd have 12 wins and they only had 5. So I was right there. Well, then now I said, why don't this year you just wait till like week 14 and pick a team? Then maybe you'll have a winner.
I mean,
Sorry.
why is your dad cooking you right now?
I had to throw him under the bus.
That's what he does. It's just what he tries to do,
No,
you know?
It's great. It's great to banter with him on our own podcast, but it's even better on someone else's.
Savage. Paul's a savage. I love it. But remember, Beckham went for what was the first and a third, right? I mean, Diggs probably isn't fetching a first, but would if you're the Vikings, would you take a second to give up Diggs? I would. If I'm the Vikings.
Just free the man. Give the man what he wants. Free him. Let him go to a team that wants to actually use him and then see what happens. People are Diggs is that good. And that kind of hurts my feelings.
Well, he needs someone to throw him the ball. I mean, he needs a good quarterback to throw him the ball.
Hmm.
No.
I don't know. I think
know
he's more
about it.
valuable to the Vikings. I mean, I guess if he's not happy, he's not happy. But if I'm the Vikings, I'd rather hold on to Diggs. I mean, their team is better with him than without.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree with that too. But
I think
we'll
I think you guys are
NFL
just really
teams love draft picks.
But you know, for
Well,
fantasy,
yeah,
for
right.
sure, I'd love to see Diggs go someplace else. I think it would be good for Adam Thielen. I think it'd be good for Diggs, depending on the landing spot, of course. Might be good for the tight end situation there in Minnesota, depending on who emerges. I mean, is Kyle Rudolph going to be annoying this year? Is he going back to Minnesota?
Yeah, they signed him to a contract, didn't they? Like last year.
Yeah, so Irv Smith, we got to wait still on him.
Yeah, Diggs.
But I'd love to see
or
that.
Rudolph.
Rudolph.
Rudolph's contract. Well, so did. It looks like Diggs just got his extension of sorts too. So I mean, yeah, 2024 is when he's out. I mean, and the dead cap wouldn't make sense this year. Not even really next year. So it's not that at all. If anything, I guess it's a trade. But they literally just made a new contract for. I don't know. That doesn't. I literally think Stephon Diggs is just a troll and he likes to fuck around with people. And because just the world that we live in, like people just buy into that shit immediately and they run with it. And then we're here talking about it on a podcast and speculating like, oh, he's going to the Eagles and he's going to the Patriots. And no, he's just going to be a Viking for 3 more years and then, get traded or dropped. So
that's what a buzzkill. That's disappointing.
So are we done? What's going on?
Coronavirus is Stephon Diggs.
all right.
We're over here trying to dream big dreams, have big thoughts. Steph Diggs, what could be the possibilities? No, sucker, he's staying in Minnesota. Shut up.
Yeah.
Can we get back to the Brady talk though? Because I think Brady is so interesting, especially for those of us that are in super flexors, is everyone, right? Because that's the standard now. I hope.
Preach.
Could be.
Because Brady leaves the Patriots, and it does seem that's going to happen. Where there's starting to be more buzz out of New England. That's going to happen. It's just going to be this domino effect. It's going to be fascinating to see what happens. I can't wait. If Brady goes to the Titans, to see Tom Brady play for another franchise other than New England Patriots. It's just going to be awesome. And then what happens after that? Does Derek Carr? What if he goes to the Raiders? So Derek Carr gets traded. I mean, what could happen with that? I mean, there's talk that the Bears might be interested in Derek Carr if he's an option for them. So they're just the dominoes that are going to fall. It's so exciting.
Yeah.
So.
And I think honestly, I am more interested in the dominoes that fall. I couldn't give a shit less about Brady affecting a team directly. Like I think we've already kind of, I don't know. People say this shit every year, and the broken record, but it appears that things are just different these days for Tom Brady being, what is he, 42, 43? I don't know if he's going to
my age.
Okay. Hey, you didn't have to say that, Ryan, but I'm glad that
it's a constant reminder that, when
you are Tom Brady.
Tom Brady really hangs it up, then I'm really fucking old at that point. I'm old enough, but I'm really old.
But the difference is you won't hang it up, Ryan. You will keep going. You will keep potting. You will keep FFing because you don't give a FF. Keep grinding, my friend.
Keep FFing. Wait, what?
I appreciate the pep talk, man. I was thinking about retiring, but now I know I'm back in it.
All right, good. Well, anyway, I don't care about Tom Brady and the team that he lands on because I just don't think it's going to have a great effect on that team or the players around it. Maybe I'm more interested in like Chargers or Bucks or something because what does Mike Evans have to do? But I think I'm more interested in what happens to a team, possibly like the Raiders, or maybe even like if it's like a trade with where Carr goes to the Patriots, or where they just sign a free agent like Dalton going to the Patriots. That's kind of what I'm more interested in rather than Brady himself, especially, and then who he affects directly. I just don't think it's that big of a deal.
You're saying Brady so you're saying Brady is past the point of elevating those around him?
Fantasy wise, yes.
I have to disagree. I would disagree.
Come at me, Paul.
I mean, you put him on. His whole career, he's thrown all these short passes, and his receivers did a lot of the work. I mean, it's the system, right? The system in New England that made him who he is. I mean, there's no question about it. I just think he makes players around him better. He doesn't make many mistakes. I think if he goes to a team with a good offensive line, I think he'll do well. Will he win another Super Bowl? I doubt it. I think he's got his 5. I don't think he's going to win it. He's definitely not going to win another one in New England because they're going to be in a rebuilding phase. So it's interesting to see where he goes and what kind of offensive line they have. I think he makes players around him better. Like I said, he doesn't make a lot of mistakes.
He's got 6 rings, dude.
Is it 6?
You keep saying 5.
All right, whatever.
He's got 6.
5, 6. What's the difference?
6 out of 9.
And Belichick's got 8. Belichick's got 8 because he had 2 he had 1 with the Giants, right?
Yeah,
when he was 7 or 8. He's got 8.
A lot. He's got a lot.
A lot. He's got a lot.
I don't have these stats in front of me.
So I just think Brady makes players around him better. Like I said,
it's true. I just don't think he makes him better on a fantasy spectrum as better as we want it to be.
I think I could agree with that. I agree with that.
That's a fun thing to toss about theoretically, because let's say you put a guy like Tom Brady in Tampa, and I was chewing on this
interesting to me.
Yeah, exactly. Because all of a sudden, the 30 interceptions that you got with Jameis that killed drives and killed opportunities, which also created some times where they were in catch-up mode. I get it, kind of catch-22. But you talk about a guy who's going to be more efficient with the football and being able to pair Arians with that group of talented offensive players. All of a sudden, maybe it doesn't necessarily raise the boats from a fantasy perspective, but the offense itself theoretically gets a boost, in which case that provides value to everyone on that offense. So I think maybe not directly, but indirectly, I think that he would have an effect on a team like that. So that's a fun thing to think about.
Yeah.
You know what we
I
got?
still can't see him in New England. It's crazy.
Yeah,
I see him in New England.
What we got to understand here too is he's getting older. He's not like these young guys out there that have the arm strength and everything still. He is getting older.
Just like Gabe Buzzkill the Big Sting, he's gonna stay.
I'm with that
He's
too.
gonna stay.
I mean, Mike Evans and Chris Godwin are just going to keep running downfield because that's what they're used to with Jameis Winston. And then Brady's like, wait. Where are you going? I can only throw it about 15 yards, bucko. You're going to have to come back on that one.
Give him some yak monsters like a Carolina. Give him DJ Moore and McCaffrey. That'd be cool to see, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah. You know.
So and the other thing is I don't think he lands on a dumb team like the Raiders or something. Like I've never, one thing that is either admirable or whatever you want to say about Tom Brady is he's never really taking a lot of money. He should be the top paid quarterback every fucking year, but he's not. And he's taking pay cuts for the Patriots so that they can, put that money elsewhere. And it's because he knows he's in a good place to win. So I don't see why he would leave that, for one, to Justin's point. And echo.
Okay.
Echo.
Keep going.
Somebody's volume's coming through the computer.
This is the professional podcast.
This isn't about some silly class about astronomy and stars and Betelgeuse. Gosh.
If you want to time travel, go.
Watch Quantum Leap, okay?
Dad joke.
All right. But I think that he's going to a team where he could win. He's going to want some pieces around him, likely. He's not going to want to like make them better or whatever, the Brady effect kind of thing. Like the Chargers could probably be a good spot for that. And, aforementioned Bucks, both of those places are solid as far as receivers go and just talent in general. But the Raiders, like, come on, no way.
Hey, what about Sam Fran? Did you believe that?
Not even that. Like Kittle, okay, the Gronk comparisons begin, and Deebo Samuel's like Randy Moss or something. I don't know, but it's like, calm down, okay? I don't know. Like there have been a lot of receivers that have come to New England in these past few years that have not done anything. We were very excited about Mohamed Sanu. We were even excited about Philip Dorsett. And these things just didn't happen. So Tyrell Williams, not going to happen. The other wide receivers on the Raiders, not going to happen.
Renfro. Hey.
Yeah, Renfro.
White
I know. I can't wait for people to say Julian Edelman on that. Jeez.
I'm telling you, they'll sign Brady and then trade for Odell. I could see him liking John Gruden. That's the only thing. I could honestly see Brady liking John Gruden, but I don't think it's going to happen. He's going to stay. That's the end of the day. He'll stay.
I want
Bill, what do you think?
Yeah, go. Yeah, Bill, give us your. You keep shaking your head. I think that you're very out on Brady.
Yeah, I'm pretty out on Brady. I don't. I just don't like. I agree with Gabe that I don't think that he's going to have much influence, fantasy wise, on anywhere he goes. He may. I think he ends up in New England again. I mean, I just don't see there being some great, magic match for him elsewhere, unless it's a team like San Francisco where they have a chance to win. I don't. I mean, maybe Tennessee, if he feels he's the, the difference between them making the Super Bowl or not. But other than those two landing spots, I really don't see him moving on. But I think it's pretty unlikely anyway.
And in Justin's startup, Justin was telling us essentially 30 QBs off the board. Tom Brady's still one of those. And Tom Brady's still on the board,
but Jake Fromm's gone.
Okay, yeah, but Jake Fromm's gone. I'm 34. And with DLF ADP right now for February, Tom Brady QB number 32, just ahead of Ben Roethlisberger, which I don't get. How is big? Oh my god!
I think people are just worried about
being so low. I don't get. Oh my god.
I mean, I don't know how good his elbow is. I mean, is he the to quote a guest we had a couple weeks ago? Is he gonna be the old Big Ben or old Big Ben?
Even if your guest is handsome and wonderful and incredibly talented and smart, whomever your guest was, I don't know who it was, but even if he said that, Big Ben, even if he is old Big Ben, not the old Big Ben, but just old Big Ben, he's still better than the 33rd quarterback in the NFL. Like, that's crazy. How Taysom Hill's ahead of him.
Yeah.
Jordan Love's ahead of him, which I can get Jordan Love, but like, there's so many people ahead of him, and I don't get it. I don't get the Big Ben hate right now. Oh my gosh, I gotta stop.
You okay, bud?
I gotta stop. No, I'm about to have an aneurysm. I gotta stop.
I'm with you,
Oh
J
my
Mike.
gosh.
That ain't right.
That
ain't right.
Man.
What is it? What'd you say? Jake Fromm, Taysom Hill, they're all ahead of him?
No,
In
Jake
ADP?
Fromm is literally one spot behind him.
Okay.
But
Look, guys.
Tom Brady's right ahead of Big Ben. I mean, everybody: Dwayne Haskins, Mitchell Trubisky, Gardner Minshew, Derek Carr, Jordan Love, Taysom Hill. Like,
I mean, Minshew. Come on.
I mean, it is Shuval. Shoe. But still, I'm just saying. I find that interesting. I find it really interesting. Anywho, I would love to go back to Steph Diggs for a minute, not to beat a dead Diggs here. But he right now he's wide receiver 17 in February ADP. Would you guys rather have Cooper Kupp or Steph Diggs?
You're asking the wrong person.
Yeah,
I go Kupp.
you should also not ask me that question.
I'm definitely asking you, Gabe.
No, don't.
You want to start a war?
He loves Cooper Kupp, and it's crazy.
I like Cooper Kupp too. That's just. I have him. I think I have Diggs right now as my wide receiver 15 dynasty. I have Kupp at like 18.
J Mike.
Okay.
J Mike.
Yeah.
You can't just lie to people. To
What you
straighten it
talking
out. To straighten it out at the end. Can't just.
You literally named an episode something about Cooper Kupp's Nana in one of our previous episodes. Did you not? Where's the lie? Where's the lie? Where's the lie? All right, then. Like I said, Cooper Kupp, Steph Diggs, y'all.
I go Cooper Kupp. If you're waiting for someone to chime in here,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please hurry. Echo.
is this me? Am I the echo problem? Because I can log out and log back in.
Bill,
I think it's me because
yes,
I'm having problems.
I think it's. Do you have a speaker?
Yeah, let me leave. Like I'm gonna drop my Cooper Kupp. I'll fix this. Hold on.
Okay.
All right.
Kind of show you guys
geez.
running.
I know.
I'm a
this is
professional
this is
podcaster here. Okay,
embarrassing.
guys, I'll get
Amateur
it fixed. Don't worry.
Amateur hours. Jeez.
The man knows his analogies, but not how to run a podcast.
That's what happens when you let weed be legal in Illinois and all sorts of debauchery.
Downstream effect.
I knew those gummies were a bad idea before the show. I'm thinking.
Jeez.
Okay, I've got one more name here real quick. Kenny Galladay or Steph Diggs?
Boy,
I like
Bill,
Galladay.
Bill,
I
you're
think
excused.
he's,
You're excused, Bill.
Okay, I'll just shut up.
No, Bill, I want to hear from you. What you got?
I like Galladay. I mean, he's just like he's a wide receiver one, and I don't even necessarily know we can say that about Diggs. So I think, it seems like when Thielen's out there, he's getting more targets than Diggs, and I'm always worried about Diggs because anytime he has any sort of injury, like you can pretty much count him out for that week. Like even if he plays, like he disappears in games like that. Like if you see that he's on the list before, the injury list before the games, like just look at his performances with and without that, and they're just night and day. So I'm going Galladay just because he's just guaranteed to get the targets and he's more of a touchdown guy.
Justin, you still riding with Diggs here?
Yeah. I like Galladay. I have Galladay. I have Galladay 17.
I have to agree with Bill.
I mean, I'm not going to try to argue with you, but I have Galladay. I think that
You're not going to
Diggs
argue
has
with me?
such
Wow.
value. I think Diggs should get more trade for Diggs than you can for Galladay. I think thinking that way, you know.
Oh, I hope
uh,
so. Looks
I
like I'll be
can.
moving
I
some
think-
digs tonight.
I mean, I don't know. People like Diggs, and it's getting to the point almost where now, like, I think, you know, people like him what he actually is. I do, but I know I'm not afraid to recognize that. I'm not going to sell all my Diggs shares though, because then I just feel bad about myself later.
I'll be honest. I have digs in quite a few leagues, so I was just going to try to get rid of a few shares of them, and I'm having a hard time moving him for even what I consider reasonable value. Like I offered digs for a 105, and I got denied. I mean, I feel like that's, you know, I mean, I'm not going to give him up for less than that. I think that's ridiculous. But like, I think Galladay you can get more than that.
You think that's?
Go ahead, Ryan. You good?
I'm sorry. I had to switch my audio, so I can't hear when I'm talking. Okay, I got it fixed though. And do you think that's rookie?
Them gummies are working.
Is that rookie hype?
It could
Bill,
be.
do you think that the 105? Because I think that's how it is with a lot of veteran players, like a guy like Diggs. Try to sell him for the 105. That's a super flex league, I'm assuming. I can see that because people are looking at that pick like, oh, you know, I can get a better wide receiver, a younger wide receiver than Stephon Diggs, so they're not going to make the deal. I think,
actually, it was a 1 QB league. It's like one of my only 1 QB leagues now that I think about it. So,
okay.
So even worse. But yeah, you're right. I mean, there's just so much hype right now with picks. It's just ridiculous. Like, how many are really actually going to hit? Like, let's be honest. Like, Ryan McDowell posted a thing this week about, you know, showing like the last 10 years of the, you know, first round selections, and it looks like between 4 and 5 hit each year for the first, like, that are true guys that you want in your, you know, starting lineup weekly. Like, we all think there's going to be 12 this year, but how many really are there going to be? You know, I mean, even if it's a fantastic year, only 7 out of 12 are going to hit. And so we're still looking at like close to 50% success rate. So, yeah, I mean, I agree. There's always that hype every single year. This year, more so. But man, like, you can get Diggs, who's a top 20 wide receiver, or you get a guy that you don't necessarily, you got a 50% chance of failing.
Yeah, I'm with you completely on that. I mean, and that's always been kind of preached everywhere, really, to just save those picks until it's time to draft, and you will certainly get the players that you want for those picks if you're willing to part with said picks, because it always feels like we are the perfect pickers and we will pick the player that is on the good side of 50%. But you're totally right that it's just not realistic. I mean, I was looking at that as well, Bill, through the drafts, and everyone talks about that 2014 draft class, and looking at this, like, pretty much you could get no value out of probably like a Bishop Sankey and Cody Latimer, but the rest is like you could get some sort of value out of it. Like Jordan Matthews is on that list. You got something out of it, whether you like it or not. You did. Eric Ebron was there. You didn't get a whole lot of value for a while, but when he went to Indianapolis, gosh darn it, he did. So it's just a matter of, and not necessarily like, the idea of a hit. It might take a while. It might only be for 1 year. It might be for 3 years. It might be for 20. It's just a matter of how much they'll hit. I do think there is a higher percentage for a fantasy football first round pick to hit. But it's just a matter of how much that hit is and what you consider to be a hit.
But isn't that just all timing based right now?
Totally.
Right.
Totally.
So I don't think you're wrong, Bill. It's just the wrong part of the calendar. Especially when people get the stars in their eyes and say, hey, I could get one of these top, however many running backs with that top 5 pick. And it could be, because I think in season, or even shortly after the season, it's still probably a Diggs over the 105 proposition. And I would like to think anyway. But yeah, I think it's just that's purely timing based.
Was that the side by side there? The 105? That was the disrespect. That was really? We were comparing that? Oh.
105 and Diggs.
Yeah, isn't that what you said, Bill? In terms
Yeah,
of the
I offered Diggs for the 105 in a league, in a 1 QB league, and the guy turned it down.
Really? Huh. It is rookie season.
It is indeed,
fellas. Wow. I would like that for me.
Yeah, me too. I don't know why
it's a little differently in
honest with you.
Superflex, but it's pretty much Diggs for me there.
I can't trip though. I love making the picks myself as well. I mean, right, wrong, or indifferent. Right.
Well, you're perfect, James.
I've had that discussion before. And that was my auto tune going wrong. The one of the things that I like a lot, or at least the thought of, is at least with Diggs versus the 105, or even the picks altogether, is still the flexibility with them. So Diggs is the asset. That's the asset, right? But the 105 all of a sudden could become a myriad of things, or the actual player, or something that you do on the clock, or all these different things. And I think that's the allure of what could be is something that so many people chase. And I think it's a lot of the sharp people who don't necessarily consistently chase the allure. What were you about to say, Ryan?
I'm just adding to your point. I think that deal will be there for that owner during the rookie draft. So even if he likes the idea of getting Diggs for the 105, he's probably thinking, or she's probably thinking, hey, I'm just going to hold on to this pick, and that Diggs offer will be there, or maybe something better. Or maybe there's a run on wide receivers. Maybe I want to get Jonathan Taylor or DeAndre Swift, and let's say Lamb, Ruggs, and Judy, they're all top 15 picks in the draft. That's a possibility, maybe a remote one. So yeah, wait and see what happens. Then if you're on the clock at the 105, make that deal or a better deal. So I think that it's hard to deal for rookie picks now, because I think this is pretty, much common sense advice in the Dynasty community. Those picks only grow in value as you get closer to your rookie draft. So when you're on the clock, that's when you make the deal.
Yep,
what do we do if everyone's thinking that? Tell me what to do if everyone is thinking that in my league.
Well, I say that, but there are plenty of people that don't listen that don't listen to this, common sense Dynasty advice. They don't listen to these podcasts. They don't read different websites. So I think you just have to know your league and work those owners that maybe take a different approach to Dynasty. I think that's the way to do it. But if you're in a league like all of us are in, with a bunch of like industry sharks, you can't you can't make those deals. But if you're in a league with a nice mix of people, and I think you can make those deals. But we're all in a league where we know we can't get away with some of the stuff, right?
That's right. What's that new? That next level.
Give me that new. I feel like this has become a weekly thing now for whatever reason, but I want to bring up a trade I've got currently sitting out there, and I want to know your all's thoughts. On Twitter, shout out to a friend of ours, one Peter Howard. I mean, you talk about somebody's stock blowing up right now. You couldn't put Diggs and the 105 together to get Peter Howard after his appearance on the Late Round podcast with JJ Zachariason. I mean, man,
I wouldn't even offer that. I would get laughed out of the room. So I'd have
without
to offer
question.
Like 4 firsts and
minimum
2021 101.
4 firsts minimum. And if the 2021 isn't the 101, then get out of here. So Peter, I put it on Twitter. I was like, hey, Peter's been hounding me for N'Keal Harry for I don't know how long, at least a year now. Should I actually try to make a deal with Peter? Because I've just basically said no to everything. Legitimate offers, illegitimate offers. We've been going back and forth. Like, he would just send me like randomness, like Chase Edmonds for N'Keal Harry. And then I'd be like, why do you hate me? And then then he'd send halfway legit offers, and I'd still just say no to him just because it was Peter, and I know that it would probably leave him triggered. But anywho, We're trying to work it out, and we're not having a lot of luck. But this is the one that I have out there sitting. Which side would you all rather have in a 12-team points per carry league? I think it's like 0.2 points per carry. 1 QB, N'Keal Harry, or Austin Eckler and the 111.
I'm taking the Eckler side for sure. Like, I don't know. I might take the 111.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Phil.
Dang.
J Mike,
The
was
hate.
this an actual trade and was this offered in a Superflex league?
No, 1 QB league is an actual trade that is on the table that he's yet to respond to, because
All right.
we're having a hard time with values here.
Who has
disrespect.
Harry? You do, J Mike?
I have Harry. I don't necessarily want to trade him, but I'm willing to sniff out what could be.
Out of curiosity, where did you take him in the rookie draft, J Mike?
You know what? That's a beautiful question. Let me see if I can try to pull that up real quick, because I do not know. I took N'Keal Harry at 104 last year.
So I
So
think
you're
there's
asking for both of those?
Yes, I asked for Eckler and the 111. That was my ask. Correct.
Wow, that's pricey.
I think if you can get that though, I think there are enough questions about Harry's profile. I mean, we don't even know who his quarterback's going to be, right? So I like the idea of turning that into Eckler and the 111, especially since Eckler signed that deal. We know he's going to be in Los Angeles. I think even in a 1 QB league, you're going to pick up probably a pretty nice option at the wide receiver position at the 111. So I like that deal a lot. It's easy for me. I would definitely make that move.
I think Eckler is a sell for one. And I think it's odd to try, no disrespect, J Mike, but I just think it's odd to try and acquire, or was this you, J Mike, that you said you put it out
Yes.
there? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So no disrespect, my friend. But I think it's odd to acquire Austin Eckler at this point with news and the contract and things. It's just on face value, it's going to be more difficult to acquire him. So yes, it seems like everyone's kind of on this side of 111 and Eckler, but I don't know if that is the case. Like a month ago or 2 months ago or whatever, we might be feeling some sort of recency bias because of the deal and because Harry didn't have a perfect rookie season and that's what everyone wants out of a rookie wide receiver these days. Like why does one rookie wide receiver season have to like automatically turn into Corey Davis or Devontae Parker or Corey Coleman, like all these? Yeah, why do we want it so quickly, guys? Harry's fine.
That's what
Well,
people want. You want it quickly. That's what people are looking for.
So
They want that top
quickly.
rookie player. You know that. That's what everybody wants. That's the theory out there. I don't know what side of the ball, what side of the field I'm on.
And it's not that I'm necessarily looking to sell N'Keal Harry. This was just for the fun of asking the people on Twitter after Peter's hounded me for a very long time. And Peter's my friend, obviously. Love Peter. So
Not anymore.
for anybody for anybody that's like, dude, what's his deal? Why is he putting him on black? Like that's not it. We clown with this. But yeah, I'm trying to put something together, and I'm having a hard time. I'm having a hard time trying to see what would work. You know what? Let's do this. I am going to screen share this. Let's get real weird.
Okay.
Okay.
So, do you get concerned with, it always seems like wide receivers struggle in New England. It's like they get it or they don't kind of thing. And is that a concern that Harry doesn't end up getting it? I mean, I know we didn't get to see a lot because he was out for the first half of the season and everything, but I mean, is that something that, you know, just because he didn't blow up or show exceptionally well, that's something that concerns you long term. I mean, we know Eckler will produce. I almost think like that's an even trade, either one of those parts and N'Keal Harry right now. And I get it. I mean, wide receivers, we do need to be more patient. We've just been so, 2014 just screwed everybody's minds up of what a wide receiver does. And, but I don't know. Do you think that that's a concern just because it seems like wide receivers do struggle with the New England offense quite a bit?
I mean, sure, you have to take it into consideration. But what wide receivers have we been looking at in New England that had that draft capital? Like none. It's typically free agents that they're bringing in. Like it's been kind of a weird few years for New England acquiring these offensive pieces. Sort of kind of high between Michelle and Harry. So I don't know. I'm not ready to rule that out. I don't think they do it often enough for us to be able to say that they're just going to miss.
If you look at what J Mike just put up, Peter's team, he's got a nice stack of wide receivers. I wouldn't do that trade if I was him. I hope you're not listening, Peter, because Eckler is his best running back on that. Eckler is his best running back on there, and he's got pretty good wide receivers. So looking at that, I wouldn't trade Eckler away.
And Peter's got a playoff team. Peter's got a team that I forgot if they're fringe playoffs or made the playoffs. Our teams are in two very different places. His team is pretty good, ready to contend. I've got $1 billion and one. I've got $1 billion and one wide receivers on my team, a bunch of young guys. I might as well throw my team up here so you guys can get. And I think let me
see who your running backs are.
And I think this is one of those really interesting things where when you're trying to find trade partners. Even if someone has something or has a player that you really like or want, it becomes a case where let me zoom in. It becomes one of those things where it becomes really hard to find something that works because there's just not much in the way of crossover for your team. So here's my squad. I got a bunch of young wide receivers. Sitting on the 102 as well. So I'm pretty excited about that. Seeing what falls in the old lap. But my team is struggling. So did not make the playoffs at all. And I earned the 103, but in a trade earlier in the year, essentially I had ended up with the 102. So that was nice. But yeah, so N'Keal Harry is one of those pieces for my team that feels like, man, I really need you to hit. Maybe not now, obviously, because my team has the room to grow. I find the aspect of trying to trade when you have a trade partner that's willing to do something, but you don't have necessarily pieces that work. The psychology behind forcing something versus trying to make something else happen is interesting because I don't necessarily love Eckler. I like what he did a lot this year, but I don't necessarily love his prospects moving forward as someone who's guaranteed like a lock to be top, 15 to 18 running back. I think that situation in LA is very wishy-washy. So anywho, that was a lot of talking by me. I apologize, but can't forget about Eric Ebron down here. It's my guy. It's not really my guy, but
he's a buy. He's a buy.
Hey, 2014 draft class. Got you that 1 year. They all hit eventually, everyone. They will hit. Harris Campbell, I thought he was on the Raiders.
See that, Bill?
He is on the Raiders.
He is on the Raiders. All right. I have to apologize to who am I blocking out here? Ryan and Paul because of Jake's golfing Avi, but I had to show this in the chat. J Mike, look, you're getting he brings up a great point. Okay, this is exactly what an EP should do. And I'm just so very happy to have Jake back in the executive producer position. So thank you, Jake, for joining us, for one, allegedly. And for two, posting this comment that is entirely true. J Mike turning open bar into his own dynasty trade calculator. Cry face emoji, kissy face emoji. Look, J Mike, this is the opening. This is the open bar. Opening bar.
Bless you.
I think you forgot this part because this isn't a trade calculator pod. What are you doing? Are you going into the DLF, little trade analyzer, the dynasty trade calculator, shout out to all of those guys, and they do great work. But J Mike, what are you doing, man? This isn't about your fantasy teams. This is about the open bar, our 4 guests. You wanted to bring on 4 people every week. Now we have 6 total. We have people to cater to, and you're just talking about.
I love it.
You're bringing on your dumb teams with trying to get rid of N'Keal Harry. First of all, dumb. Why would you do that? And now you seriously have the audacity to start talking about Eric Ebron. What is wrong with you?
Justin, soak this in because it's not me and you this time. Soak it in, buddy.
My turn, Gabe. My turn.
Yes. Yes.
You seem to forget
Uh-huh.
that this podcast has 2 hosts.
Oh.
You, who pay all the bills with the face, with the voice, everything that you've got going on from a podcast intro standpoint. Mr. Gearing, if you real nasty.
Hey.
And then there's myself, the lesser known, lesser famed one who gets to just come in here, ask questions, and let smart people talk. Now, the beauty in all of this is that what I was trying to do, and as you just kind of put me on blast for, is just get the perspective of the 4 really smart people that we have on the podcast with us tonight. And that's also what the kids call hashtag content.
Uh-huh.
With that said, maybe, just maybe, I didn't have the money this month to re-up on my dynasty trade calculator. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, just maybe. You know what I'm saying?
hoping one of these 4 guests have it?
Here, let me look it up
Maybe I
for
was
you.
just trying to. Maybe I was trying to get somebody else to hit up that league import feature for me. To see I tried to keep us.
Sneak that in. Hey, Justin, I know you signed up for DTC last month because you hit me in the DMs. You said it. You came at me with this trade and you said look, J Mike, it's fair. So I know that you've got it.
Unbelievable. I can't believe you tried to do me like that. Wow. Speaking of, shout out to the guys over at DTC. I do have my subscription. It is alive and well. I'm just kidding. It's all jokes.
I am too.
No, forget you, man.
J Mike, what are you doing with that 102 right now?
The person that has the 101 has told me that they are very, very strongly leaning towards Jonathan Taylor, which means that, and I can't reveal all of my secrets right now because there's one Zach Reed, tacit assassin, who's right behind me at 103. So no, I'm just kidding. I'm looking at Swift. Like Swift would be ideal. I'm really curious how everything shakes out with landing spots, though. I don't have a ton of gap between like the Taylor, Dobbins, Swift. I like those 3 quite a bit. Cam Akers is further down for me, and I like CEH a lot. So I really like 102 because it gives me either probably Taylor or Swift, and I don't know. And again, this being a points per carry league, curious how it all regarding draft capital and where these guys land. But I really like Swift's. And we talk about guys like not having to wait for them to produce. The cool thing about this is all of these guys, I think Taylor included, can be good in the passing game, but Swift's ability in the passing game is something that he can come out the gate and be viable in immediately, which I think is a lot of fun to think about. So I think the Swift is probably my guy right now. And yeah, we'll see what shakes out.
And to go back to another comment that Jake put out, look at the EP just coming through. Gosh, just really, really proud of him right now. This podcast has been great because of him. Jake Anderson. He said earlier somewhere, I'm not going to try and find it and post it up here, but he was saying that once free agency hits, people are going to be really disappointed about where these potential rookie running backs, or, you know, because you were talking about running backs there, J Mike, or wide receivers, they're going to be disappointed because of where these free agents land. Do you agree with our beloved EP, people of the open bar?
I agree that people would be disappointed, but I don't agree that they should be. We see it every year where guys get drafted to situations that we think are worse than they actually are. You know, we saw it after Minnesota signed Latavius, and then they draft Dalvin. We saw it with Hyde and Duke Johnson, and then Cleveland drafts Chubb. You know, there's just situations where people, you know, talent's going to rise to the top. So, like, I'm not too worried about that. But yes, I agree that people will be worried about situations after they see landing spots.
And it has to do with, you know, the combination of not just like a running back existing there. Like, sure, that is something, but like, for example, the Eagles, you know, landing Jordan Howard, that was just awful for Miles Sanders, but not necessarily the Jordan Howard part, but the fact that it's the Eagles and that they're going to use like 32 running backs in the backfield. And that's just scary in itself. So Miles Sanders certainly took a dip, and eventually we got to see him play a little bit more, possibly because of Jordan Howard injury, but also because I think people started thinking he was good, possibly people from the coaching staff of the Eagles. So, yeah, culmination of things, but I think it is scary in general for sure.
Hey guys, I've got a question for you. What happens if Jonathan Taylor goes to the Detroit Lions? Because Dane Brugler in his last mock had the Detroit Lions taking Taylor. How do you think people feel about that? Do people then just write off Kerryon Johnson and think Taylor is going to take over that role, or we just have a shower cry because it's just horrible for both of them? I mean, because I think there's some landing spots that I'm trying to figure out how the community will react to them, and Detroit's one of those spots for a running back. So what do you guys think?
Please, no. I mean, for Lions fans, great, but come on.
I feel bad for Kerryon Johnson if that happens.
Yeah.
I think he's a great talent.
Getting Trey
to
Mason.
come in and have Jonathan come in there and take over, and because I think he's going to be a good running back. That would just hurt Johnson, I think.
Lions don't like Kerryon Johnson. Simple as that.
I do. I do. That's all that matters.
We all do. I like him. I think he's talented, but Mike Vrabel is not happy girl. Matt Patricia is an idiot.
Well, you got to have a running back that's going to be healthy, and he hasn't been healthy 2 years in a row. So,
that's
you know, that's
also
something you got to have more than one running back. I mean, that's every team really. And I mean, he's had injuries even back into college, and you know, everybody loves his talent. I mean, no question, Kerryon is talented, but I mean, he keeps getting knee injuries. I mean, I think this is his third one since college. You know, it's hard to trust somebody like that. So, I mean, yes, if they draft Taylor, then you know that's definitely going to hurt Kerryon. But that's an incredible 1-2 punch as long as he stays healthy, at least for the next year or so.
Yeah, that's a good point, Bill, because he's been hurt a few times. That's a great point.
Yeah, I know, and Kerryon is one of those guys that's very intriguing to me, but this is like such a pivotal year for him. And if the Lions were to go and draft a running back early second round, that says a lot. So I hope it doesn't happen, but you know, I've seen it at least one mock, which is Brugler's mock. So there's a little bit of buzz about the Detroit Lions taking a running back. So
yeah, I'm curious as to, you got to keep in mind also that both the GM and the coach are, you know, kind of on the hot seat. So like they're going to be making decisions for players they feel are going to help them win this year. If they trust Kerryon and they want to roll the dice, you know, maybe they grab somebody a little bit later, but you know, if they don't trust them, I mean, that's the easiest way to get, you know, at least for those type of coaches, you know, thinking running backs potentially matter more and they want somebody they can trust a little bit more. I guess I could see it, but as a Lions fan, I really hope they don't pick somebody that early.
This feels like a prime. This feels like a prime buying spot for Kerryon. So let me ask you guys this, because, I've seen it alluded to oftentimes this offseason in that Kerryon is kind of on this trajectory, or the same kind of career path, if you will, as Dalvin Cook. Miss part of one season, miss part of another season, come out and just absolutely destroy things in your third year. So let me ask you guys this: what is the buy line for you if you would buy Kerryon Johnson? What's the buy line, and what's the sell line if you are looking to move Kerryon Johnson?
I just sold him actually last week in the league.
Oh, let's hear it.
Give it to us.
I sold in a super flex league. I sold Kerryon Johnson in the 112 for the 102. Give me Jonathan Taylor.
I like that trade. I mean, I think
do
that's
too. I
a
like
great
that.
trade for you.
Yeah, it's a nice deal.
Yeah,
I like it too.
Thank you. Yeah, trying to go back years and so trying to get or Swift. I'll take either or. Not really worried.
I think it's hard to get a first for Kerryon right now. So to be able to jump up that high, that's pretty impressive. I don't know what I pay. I'm not paying a first for Kerryon. I'd sell probably for a top 15 super flex pick. I'd probably buy for a little less than that.
Okay, so you're all the way up to 203?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like the
203?
top 15 guys in the draft, so I feel pretty good flipping Kerryon for one of those guys.
Okay. Just as a point of reference here, Kerryon Johnson is in February ADP for DLF, player number 62. Player 62, right after Robert Woods, Adam Thielen, and Jarvis Landry, and just before David Montgomery, Le'Veon Bell, James Conner.
Wow, Lev Bell's that far down, huh?
Yeah, I'd take Bell.
So what? It's like 105 or 6 or so ish, as far as ADP goes.
I mean, it's funny you say
Maybe a
that.
little bit.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire is player number 58. So
probably like
what is that?
yeah,
6, 7?
7, 8, maybe.
Yeah, 6, 7, 8.
Okay.
Rookie fever is high, so I'm not gonna get that.
Yeah. Huh.
I don't know. I find if you're betting on Kerryon, I feel like this is a prime opportunity for you. No,
For sure. If you like him, I mean, I think that this is going to be the lowest you can get him if he anything, with the uncertainty of the, players getting mocked to the Lions, there's more uncertainty. So yeah, for sure. Like if you I'm personally not that guy, but if you are, I mean, for sure, I don't think you're going to get him any cheaper than right now, unless those mocks are accurate. And then, you'll get them for much cheaper.
And the thing, looking at it just in a general sense of running backs don't matter, I guess, that maybe Kerryon doesn't matter. I mean, this literally does happen, that running backs get replaced just immediately because something happens, whether a team makes a good decision or bad decision, or just a running back comes in out of nowhere and replaces a running back, the other running back. It happens. So, I mean, I don't
have it. Everybody goes to a committee lately, so that you have 1, 2, sometimes 3 options. I mean, and whoever's the hot guy, that's who they usually go with. So these opportunities happen for all these guys all the time.
Yeah. And so why look at I think Kerryon is good, so I think I'll go buy him. I mean, you could think Monty is good and go buy him. All these volatile running backs you could go and buy, but it just seems so to me just so incredibly risky unless it is one of these top 3, 4, 5 guys of running backs, between Barkley and Calf and Kamara, I suppose, and Zeke, but there's not much else to me. I'm not buying.
Yeah.
I'm okay waiting.
I'm with you. I want to buy those elite running backs and then maybe a guy like David Johnson that you could get for cheap from some owners. But those guys kind of in the middle, like the Kerryon Johnsons of the world, David Montgomery's. It's just too risky at this point. It's just not worth it for me.
How comfortable are you buying even the elite guys? Because there's so many of those guys that are getting to those contract years, and we don't know if there's going to be holdouts, that sort of thing. Like, do you really want to be buying those guys at the moment? Just because McCaffrey's right there, Kamara's there, I mean, really, it's Zeke, Barkley. Those are the only two guys I actually even feel comfortable adding, and I don't even really feel comfortable adding Zeke because I think he's going to start losing volume. So really, it's Barkley to me. So
don't buy running backs, period.
Yeah, it's a great point. It really is.
But if you think about it, if you're one of these teams that either is fringe playoffs or something of that nature, and we're chatting here to talking in reference to Le'Veon Bell since he was in that group with Kerryon Johnson, you could realistically pay an early second for Kerryon and an early second to late first for Le'Veon Bell and end up with 2 top 15 backs if things shake right, and you paid very little from an investment standpoint in them compared to the expectation of whatever you want that 110, 111, 112 to do for you in year one. I just find it interesting how, and Jake's saying, hey, Le'Veon Bell's a major buy, which I agree with. I don't feel like the narrative behind him right now is a buy. It feels like no one's, and Kerryon maybe even in the same boat, nobody's like seeking them. So if you're moving those guys, you're probably the one that has them on your team, or you're going out trying to find these people, and you're initiating the conversation, because I don't see a lot in reference to a discussion on those guys. So I feel like that's a lower cost proposition that I may be willing to throw out depending on what my team was or what my team looked like. Now, again, I'm definitely team get the old RBs off my team, but for the right price, for the right value, I feel like that could pay dividends.
So
I just sold
also, yeah, and I do want to say too, but knowing the risk being, if you acquire Le'Veon Bell, this might be the point of his career where he's going to the old folks home on your roster. Like, he's not the resale value of him is not going to be pretty if he has another season like he did last season. And we get to the end of the season in 2020, and it's like, man, nobody wants Lev Bell, period.
So if you got Bell right now, what would you do with Bell if you had him on your team right now?
I just sold him in my one super flex league. I sold him, Brandon Cooks, and Slayton for 1 before the combine. Give me Jonathan Taylor.
So who's your top rookie this year, Justin?
Has to be Cam Akers. Definitely Jonathan Taylor. I mean, the dude's just.
If I have Bell on my team, I'm not doing anything with him. I'm keeping him on the team because you're just not going to get enough value back to, compared to the production you're going to get.
See, I don't know. I kind of feel the same way. I kind of feel the same way. If you got him, you got to keep him. You got to hold on to him, unless you can get decent value for him, and no one's really going to give you anything for him, I don't think. So you're better off just holding on to him for another year and see what happens.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he's a hold. I mean, he's 28 years old at this point. And I think maybe we can see a little bit of a bounce back. He had 4 touchdowns in 2019. I feel like we're going to see some positive TD regression. So, but long term, as a dynasty asset, I'm not optimistic. The guy's 28 years old. We've seen this story before. So, yeah, he's a hold for sure.
Yeah, I mean, he could just go by the wayside like Freeman. It's just like guys like that where all of a sudden, like I had McCoy on my team for like 6 years, and that's finally this year was the year that, I didn't get anything out of him. So, sometimes you just ride those guys out and just throw them to the wayside when they're not doing anything anymore.
I'm with it. Gabe, you have anything else?
Of course. What are you talking about?
We got another hour and a half.
What? You trying to sneak out of here before an hour and a half? What are you?
Hour and a half. I'm on the East Coast, right?
Yeah. Yes,
That's two of us,
Paul. Of
Paulie.
course, I knew that.
I know.
Of course, I knew
I
that.
mean, I work with
Paul.
electric wires. I don't want to get electrocuted.
Yeah, that's a good point. What are you gonna what Paul? You gonna have a White Claw and go to bed? Come on, man.
Look.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. Does this look like White Claw to you?
That's my Paul.
That's not White Claw. Anybody can chug a mango White Claw.
From the
Just
getting
window to the Paul.
Ah,
I'm
tell
not
you right
hating,
now,
Justin. That shit's tasty.
right back at you, Justin.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of mango ones. That's why. I mean, I don't know. I drink all the good ones.
Right back at you,
Telling
Justin.
y'all right now. Jake is somewhere fuming right now. He's going to come through these internet wires and choke one of y'all out.
I mean, no, I don't, J Mike, but I mean, I'm certain there is something that can be mentioned.
I mean, we can keep talking rookies. I just don't want you to get annoyed with it because I feel like you get annoyed with me quickly when we talk about things that we've talked about often. Are you going to hit me again, or are we good if we talk rookies?
What did I say? We ready? Can we talk? Can we talk rookies?
It's not what you say;
Oh, geez. Here
it's
we
how
go.
you say it.
Yeah, that's how I say it.
That is my cry for help. This is
Okay.
an intervention.
Yeah. Well.
Sponsored.
This open bar is brought to you by Dead Monotone Voices.
Dead nonsense. Oh, let's see.
No,
All right.
no character allowed on the open bar. It's so good to have you all
Yeah,
tonight.
so yesterday I
Yeah,
watched
what'd you
paint
do?
dry for about 6 hours.
That's great, Justin. Tell me more.
Exhilarating.
And then I
What color was
actually flew. I mean, it was actually white paint, so it was really
White paint.
artistic.
Oh,
And then I watched a 10-hour loop of grass growing.
yeah.
What
I
the?
My
thought it
man
was
said
very-
10-hour loop.
And then I thought I was like, I don't know. It was
Are you
just sitting
taking
there.
gummies too, Justin? Is my money going for that too? Hair products and gummies? Really?
It's
Not even illegal in New York State yet. Are you going to Massachusetts on the weekends?
I probably should. I could definitely use some of that right now, dude.
Where's your mother? Where's your mother right now?
You told me.
Yo.
How am I supposed to know?
Go to your room.
Your room. Get in the basement. Get in the basement.
Paul, what's the worst thing that Justin ever did as a kid? Between the years 13 and 18.
I dunked on him. No.
What? you never dunked on me. You never dunked on me, and you never will. You might be 6'6", but you'll never dunk on me.
Listen,
Never.
man,
Listen, man.
you haven't wanted to play me in one-on-one in the last 2 years because you're scared.
Look, I want
Uh-oh.
this. I want this live stream.
Leo?
We can do that.
Live stream.
What would happen if a
Sponsored by the open
53-year-old
bar.
53-year-old whooped his ass? Put his 6'6" frame in his place.
That would have to be a different reality.
And Justin knows about that. Trust.
And I know about
If
that.
Justin
Somewhere in the
loses,
upside
he's just
down.
gonna hit a different universe.
No.
I got him in one of these.
You would hit the ground before you even dunked on me. You'll never dunk on me, ever. Ever. I could tell these guys stories when you were a kid when I used to whoop your ass. You used to cry. I would put the ball down in the driveway. Remember this? I'd put the ball in the driveway and go, I'll see you later. I went in the house. Remember them days?
I didn't like to lose.
No, you didn't, but I never let you win either. That just to prove a point.
Yeah.
How many times did I put that ball down and go, see you later? I went in the house.
I don't have a tally of this kind of
But
thing.
now they want to know from 13 to 18. What's the worst
I
thing
do.
you did? That's what they want to know.
I do want to know badly. It's okay. We can wrap up the show with that. We can talk about rookies in the meantime. You can vibe on that. Think about it. J Mike, what do you got? What rookies do you want to talk about?
Let's talk about how Zach Moss is trash.
Ow.
Hey.
Hey.
Anybody like
I
Zach
don't know.
Moss? Anybody a big Moss fan?
I still do.
Yikes.
It's just the 4-7 scared me. Like I said,
No, I'm not. worried
Whenever
about
week
He
that- was
pulled
that
his
last week?
hamstring.
Yeah, he's fine. Kareem Hunt.
He's just a guy.
Wide
He's just a guy.
receivers? Yeah, he's just a guy.
Just a guy.
Let's see. Sleeper wide receivers. I mean, I like Antonio Gibson a lot. But he's not wide receivers running back, but I like Antonio Gibson a lot. You know,
God, there's so many wide receivers in this class. I can't wait to see
dude, there's a lot.
what happens. And there are gonna be some steals. There are gonna be some guys that slip to the 3rd, 4th round that people are like, oh, 4th round wide receiver that will do something. So I love the wide receivers in this class. So excited.
Do we think that the wide receiver? I mean, it sounds like that from you. I wasn't looking at this screen here, but I thought someone mentioned it. Oh no, never mind. In the so-called chat, do we think that running backs are not as deep as the wide receivers? Then, kind of in general.
Oh yeah,
100%.
Okay.
I mean, easy. You got to take running backs early in your rookie drafts because
Yeah.
you get to the 2nd round. You got the Zach Mosses of the world. I mean,
Forget it.
come on.
Yeah, right.
Hey.
Personally, I'm like top 5
Hey.
running back.
But what about you say get the running backs early? As far as tiers go, do you think that the running backs are stronger up top than the wide receivers are? Because I mean, we haven't talked a whole lot about Judy and Lamb and Rager, like Ruggs. Oh my gosh. Seems like Twitter's going to implode over that dude. What as far as just comparing those tier 1, possibly tier 2 guys and running backs and wide receivers, which is stronger in y'all's opinion?
Well,
I think the top
I
half
don't
is
think
like-
that there's like a sizable difference at the top end necessarily, but I think just because of the scarcity of the running back first, and typically, like, most people want to draft rookie running backs just because they have that potential to pop sooner. So, I mean, but I don't necessarily, like, I'm not a draft nick to be able to tell you, okay, like CeeDee Lamb is actually a better as a wide receiver than, Jonathan Taylor is as a running back. I'm just as a fan, for Dynasty, I think that running backs, that's where I look to first in rookie drafts.
I think there are a lot of really, really good wide receivers in this draft class, but I think that there are some outstanding running backs. So I think that Taylor, Swift, Dobbins, and maybe Hilaire and Akers can all be really outstanding fantasy assets. And I think there's some question marks that always are about wide receivers. Look at N'Keal Harry, the aforementioned N'Keal Harry, a 1st round wide receiver that was taken last year, and he didn't produce. I just think it's a smart bet to take the running backs because they're going to hold their value. And you could probably flip one of those guys for one of the wide receivers plus next year. So for me, it's all about the running backs early on. I just think you have to do that. You have to hammer running backs. You're going to be able to get great wide receivers in the 2nd round of your rookie draft. So I'm team running back all the way early.
I agree with you, but it's just a bummer when, like the Harrys happen and then they fall off a cliff and now you can get them for less than Austin Eckler, apparently. But then there are, possibly like the Debo Samuel, DK Metcalf type of wide receivers that just surge and you now cannot really purchase. I mean, you can, I guess, but it's not necessarily an ideal situation as far as stocks go. Whereas you might want to purchase the lower cost type of wide receiver, not necessarily at their high. They can certainly go higher, but I hope you kind of understand what I mean, that they were cheaper.
Yeah.
But to Ryan, to throw back at you for a second, and Justin, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
There you go.
We talk about like with Corey Davis, but even, and I forgot who was talking about this the other day. I want to be able to give credit, but too many things in my head right now. Corey Davis held his value really well over 3 seasons. Like the perceived, and again, wherever you were taking him in that season, the 103, 101, whatever it was. I mean, he held his value pretty well, pretty much up until this past season, where things kind of fell off a cliff when we saw AJ Brown actually take a step forward with Corey Davis on the team and Ryan Tannehill looking looking fantasy relevant as well. So I agree with you. I'm with you in that. Yes, the top end. I'm looking at the running backs early as well, but the man, and in Trade Addict 7, I've got a really fun project that I'm working on, and by project I mean I've been making a bunch of crazy trades just to see how this is going to look when I finish it. But between like pick 107 and 203, I've got like 7 picks, and I'm really just curious how things shake out in the draft, because I feel like that area is going to be really fun to either try to shoot for 21 picks or other good players, because still, even like the early second round, those will be picks that maybe people will be throwing you 2021 first for. So I find the wide receiver depth to be crazy, and it allows for some really interesting things that you can try to do with your rosters, and not have your value tank after 1 year. I don't think with this particular class.
Yeah, I think with Corey Davis though, Corey Davis was was he a top 5 pick, top 10 pick? Where did the Titans take him? I don't remember.
Top 10, I think.
Yeah,
I think he was 105.
So that's pretty rarefied air. I don't think any of these wide receivers are going to go in the top 10. And if they do, I think it's a different story. But I think you're going to see Lamb, Judy, Ruggs probably go mid to late first round. And I still want to take those running back bets, those day 2 running backs over those wide receivers. Now, if one of those guys goes in the top 5, top 10, I think it's a different story. But yeah, for me, you made the point. The wide receiver depth is ridiculous. Look at your screen: Lamb, Jefferson, Judy, Rager, blah blah blah. I mean, we go on and on. It's just crazy. So for me, my strategy is to attack the running backs early, and then wide receivers later. Superflex guys, I have a question for all of you. What do you do with the quarterbacks? I mean, are you locked in?
There we go.
Are you locked into
There we go.
Burrow at the 101? Tua, assuming he goes early and we're not worried about medicals, is he a top 3-4 superflex pick? What about Herbert if he goes to the Chargers as a top 10 draft pick? How does that throw off these superflex drafts? Because I mean, I don't know. It's tough because I feel like there are a lot of options at quarterback in superflex leagues, but I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think?
So I just did a mock on a pod last Friday, and there's 4 of us, and Burrow went 1, Tua went 2, Herbert went 11, and then Jordan Love was 203. Now I think Herbert's going to go a lot earlier, and probably if Love's drafted early, I'm pretty sure we're going to see him in the first round too. But God, just imagine how much the players that are going to get pushed in the second round if that's the case.
Oh man, that's incredible. That's incredible.
If you don't get Burrow, then I would take Herbert as my next quarterback. I think his stock is just going to jump up. I like him a lot.
So Paul, where do you take these guys in superflex drafts? I mean, do you take quarterback at 101 in superflex?
I like Jonathan Taylor too. I mean, yeah, I would take Burrows at the 101 in a superflex.
Justin
Justin
you're shaking
doesn't
your head no?
You go Taylor 101 because it's the same thing. You're not taking
Who?
Mahomes.
Yeah, I mean,
over
I like
McCaffrey
Taylor, but
or
I mean,
something.
quarterbacks in a superflex.
Yeah, but you're not
it's
taking
a
them.
tough
You're not
call.
taking Mahomes or Lamar Jackson over like maybe some people would, but over like McCaffrey or Barkley.
I
So
think
why would you
Burrows
do
is
that in the
going to
startup
be something special. I think Taylor is going to be the best running back in that class, but I got to take Burrow there at the 101 if I'm in a super flex.
Are you worried
he's
about
gonna be-
his
he's gonna-
receiving? Are you worried about Taylor's lack of receiving until his junior year?
No, not really. He showed he can do it last year.
No, not really. I
He
mean,
showed- yeah.
I think he's a good
I mean,
running
obviously-
back. He showed it last year that he can.
Oh,
catch
he's a
the
great
ball.
running back for sure.
I mean,
I know he had
One of
like
what, one of
28
six running
catches.
backs?
What's that?
He's like one of 6 running backs to have over like I think it's like 6,000 rushing yards or something like that in his collegiate career, and he did it in 3 years. Where like the rest of the guys on the list did it all in 4 years,
Ooh.
and then he had last season he caught 26 out of 36 targets, and his production.
You know,
there.
in all retrospect, you got to look at what your team needs, right? In a super flex, if you're looking at a quarterback and you're looking at a quarterback for the future, I think you got to take Burrow. If you need a running back, you take Taylor. But if I'm in a super flex and I got the 101, it's going to be hard to pass up on Burrow. For me,
Can I make an argument for Tua?
Absolutely.
Just curious. Obviously, if both guys go in the top 5, and you earn the 101, who? So let's say Tua's combine medicals come back fine. Let's say Burrow goes to
I think they have, right? His medicals come back.
Yeah,
I believe.
Right, and I think that he's supposed to be cleared for like full go in like the next week or so, something like that. If that's the case, I want to argue just for a moment, and I don't feel super strong about this. I'm just curious because I loved what Tua did over the last 3 seasons. And I really loved, obviously, what Burrow did in his last season. But what if I think Tua's better and my team's still really far away? Is it okay for me to say, hey, I'll take the red shirt year with Tua and reap whatever benefits in him possibly being the guy in the second year? Or do you have to take Burrow because of the fact that he's going to be on the field year 1? I think that's something that people can wrestle with. But if I've earned the 101 or if I've earned that really high pick, I've really liked Tua for a long time, and he's been really good. He's been really good.
You know, I agree with you, J-Mac. I mean, I'm sorry, Bill. I agree with you on that. I mean, for his first 3 years, he was a good quarterback. Burrow's just shown it in the last season. I mean, the LSU offense was explosive, but what Tua's done in 3 years, I got no problem with taking Tua over Burrow.
Yeah, I agree. I think that I think any of the top 3, I think there's a top 3 for me, and I'm okay taking either of those 2 quarterbacks or Taylor at 101 through. You know, it's just a matter of like those are the 3 I think that you're going to see in pretty much all drafts.
Sure. Yep.
Yeah,
Tua,
I think,
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ryan.
No, I'm sorry, Paul. I was just going to say, yeah, you can make the argument for Tua. I mean, the people kind of forget because of the way he ended his year, how crazy good he's been for the last 2 years. I mean, just, you know, his completion percentage, touchdown interception ratio. I mean, Tua is just so accurate, and I think they're, you know, Burrow, a couple of red flags for me. It's that he's done it for 1 year, and that 9-inch hand size. I'm sorry, guys. Will always jokes about how he talks about players' hands. I worry about that in a cold climate like Cincinnati. I really think hand size is a thing for a guy that plays in Cincinnati. So I think you make the argument for Tua. I think both options are great, and I think they both can be, you know, probably back in quarterback ones in leagues.
So does Mahomes 9.25-inch hands worry you?
Well, okay. Well, no,
He said okay.
that's fine. Hey, we have outliers in dynasty football and fantasy football, don't we? We have outliers. Like Cooper Kupp is an outlier, right? Small school guy, older, going into the league. There's always an outlier. Antonio Brown, outlier, right? Drafted super late. Look at the numbers he put up. Patrick Mahomes is an outlier. So, no, I don't worry about his hands because I've seen it. But Joe Burrow, we've seen it for 1 year. We saw it in the SEC. We have not seen him play in a cold weather climate. I think you've got to question that. I'm just saying, yeah. I mean, so no, Mahomes' hands don't bother me because I've seen him do it. He won the Super Bowl, but Joe Burrow hasn't done anything in the NFL yet. So, yeah, I think it's a legit concern.
I would take Burrow over Tua, but I would not be surprised if Tua was a better quarterback than Burrow. How's that sound? I don't think you can go wrong with either one. You can argue that point all day long.
That's fair.
I mean, who's the right pick there? We'll find out. We'll find out.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously concerns. Like, yeah, the hands are definitely something that you got to pay attention to.
Yeah.
You know, the 1 year of production. I mean, he was starting to show at the end of last year too. And keep in mind that was his first year with that system and all that sort of thing. So, like, I mean, there's of course there's excuses for anything, but the fact is he only had 1 year, and so those are definitely things that you got to consider. Man, like just watching Burrow, I mean, he literally looked almost perfect this year. Like, I mean, like,
Oh.
I don't know how important it is, but like his like precision and his passes were just so ridiculous. Like wherever, the defender was, the placement of that pass was the opposite side. Like every location was just perfect. And I don't know how important that is in the NFL. I don't know if that's something that he can even replicate in the NFL. But I mean, it just blew me away for every single game that I watched. That it was just so incredible. And although Tua gets it there, I mean, his location of the passes aren't nearly as like precise, I guess. But I mean, he's getting it there, and those guys were making plays.
Oh no,
So-
dog.
Yeah, for real. Like, I mean, every single one. If you look at like the leverage of where the DB is compared to where his passes are, like it's just crazy where Burrow was compared to Tua. But Tua had it in the, where the guys can make plays. So I don't know how important that is. Like, I'm not, like I said, I'm not some draft nick or film break, guy that can break down film incredibly. But I mean, it was super noticeable to me.
A lot of guys, like I'm going to stick up for J-Mike here because I like Burrow over Tua, but a lot of the analysts like Tua over Burrow. Just can he come back from that injury? He had 3 years of experience before he got hurt, right? Whereas Burrow just had that one good year, which was fantastic. I mean, the LSU offense was explosive just all the way around. So you can argue, like I said, you can argue that all day long, but a lot of the analysts do like Tua over Burrow.
For sure.
So we'll see how he comes back from that
So,
injury
there-
and see what happens.
There's no doubt that Burrow had a special year, and I think it does say something about the fact he just torched the competition in the playoffs, right? I mean, he beat 2 really great college football teams. I mean, his statistics, he 76.3% of his completion percentage. That's ridiculous. 60 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. I mean, we've never seen a season like it. So, I mean, yes, I have my concerns about 1 year and the hand size and everything, but I'm with you guys. I mean, they're both outstanding picks. I mean, they could both be special in the NFL. There's no doubt about it. So yeah, I mean, it's an exciting class in the Superflex League. We've got some intriguing quarterbacks. We've got some very exciting running backs, wide receivers. It's going to be fun. Rookie drafts are going to be so much fun. We have a long wait, and it's going to suck to wait that long for these rookie drafts.
Yeah.
But yeah, these
So
guys are exciting.
This is
It
a
is.
question I have for you guys, and I really don't know much about him. But now I just blanked on Brian Edwards. Like, I know you listed him. Is that his name? I got his name
You
right?
got it.
Okay. I find him difficult to gauge. Like, is he a mid-second round guy? Is he, he's a guy who went back for his senior year, then breaks his foot, right? Or had some foot issue. So like we didn't get to see him test. What's his story?
Super early breakout age, right? I think it's either age 17 or 18 breakout age. So the
17.
analytics community really is a big fan of him. And folks who even watch tape, big fans of him as well in terms of his ability to make plays, his ability with the ball in the hand, all those things. He's not my favorite, but he's definitely a good player. But he did have that whole foot break thing. So he came out as a senior, breaks his foot, I think right before the combine he broke his foot. And
Saturday.
and as Jake put in the chat, he's likely not going before day 3. So as a day 3 wide receiver, like I don't know how excited I am about his prospects, specifically with draft capital in this group. Like I think he's a fine player. Question just becomes, how does he make his way to the top of a depth chart to be able to be fantasy viable versus just being a guy who's on an NFL roster and is decent for a team? That's just one of the questions, one of the many questions I think I have with Brian Edwards, but he's super talented.
Yeah, I wonder if the foot thing doesn't happen and he goes first round of the NFL draft.
Right. What happens? Right.
You know, you can really only speculate, but
Right.
yeah, polarizing.
But
as the
please
people
don't
say.
tell. Polarizing. Please don't tell Cody Kutzer I said that. He's a Brian Edwards stan, and he will fight me if he hears me say anything less than stellar things about Brian Edwards.
What's his handle, J Mike? I'm just asking for a friend.
At C.
It is
Kutzer, I
C-
think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow, what a tattletale, Bill. Unbelievable. I was gonna throw him off the scent. I was gonna say something real wild and reckless.
I got you, J. Mike.
Unbelievable. We supposed to be friends, Bill. We supposed to be friends. What am I gonna do about my legs, Charlie Murphy? It's crazy.
Okay, J Mike. You can have your way. But first, we must have a draft.
Yes.
And that draft is going to be something. Wait. No, I got it. I've got it. If we're knowledgeable enough, this could go really well. Okay. So we're going to, you know what? And I'll broaden it so that we can have some flexibility here. So I want to have a draft of the solar system because we were talking so much about time and space, and Justin's been in this world and this world and this world and this world and this world, and he just keeps coming to this world until he can beat his dad in one-on-one. But it ain't gonna happen, Justin.
Oh, geez, you're in that false reality too.
I got you. I got you.
Oh
hey, hey, Magumbo. Hey, J Mike, the callback.
The Kimbe Magumbo.
All right. Well, okay. So we will broaden the spectrum. You may draft whatever is just you feel a vibe to it. I don't know if you're into that sort of thing. Mercury retrograde, full moons, anything that you want to say about the solar system that you like. Could be stars, planets, comets, but you have
before or after gummies.
Yeah.
Paul's a big gummy guy.
Isn't this all after gummies, Paul? Isn't this all after gummies?
Look,
Come on.
it's illegal in New York State. I don't know what you're talking about.
Hey, we're all in Massachusetts tonight, buddy.
Oh, shoot.
Stripey.
Yo, Paul's wild, man. I'm here for it. I am here.
It's
Yeah.
past his bedtime, dude.
I know he's on it.
The freaks come out at night.
We might get him to chug a White Claw.
Where did that bottle's gone? That's why.
Yeah. Okay, but you pick your thing, and then you have to, of course, make a juxtaposition to a fantasy football player. Can be new, old, whatever. Just make a comparison to a planetary something or solar system something. All right. Can we do this? Are we good enough for this? Can we go on the fly? I've been just kind of bullshitting for like 2 minutes so that people can come up with something.
Sure.
We're good. We're good.
All right. Well, to be fair, I am going to start with our space expert, really, Mr. Elon Musk himself, but he ain't got the Musk around them ladies with that FF Pompadour. He got his son. So come on over, Justin. What is your 101 of the solar system? Doesn't even have to be this solar system, son. Go wherever you want with this. Okay, go ahead.
Anywhere I want with this. All right. Let's see. I wasn't prepared for this to be first up, but I kind of should have expected it. So I'm gonna have to. Are we doing? How many picks do I get? Do I get one pick? Do I get?
You get one. It's the 101, Justin.
So do I come back around with the 107?
101.
or do I get the
Yeah,
two?
I don't think we're ready to say that we can snake this.
No, we aren't. we cannot leave the Milky Way.
That's ambitious.
Milky Way. We cannot leave the Milky Way. I gotta get some stats up on here.
We only got 9 planets.
What a
8,
nerd.
or 8. I'm old.
Back in my day, Pluto meant something.
We
Yeah.
had 9 planets in my
Never
day.
forget.
That damn Common Core.
I remember taking my spaceship up the hill in the snow both ways to Pluto.
So let's see. I mean, Venus.
There we go.
It's very hot, and it gets about the same surface temperature, same amount of light as Earth, although Venus is closer to the sun, which is kind of weird because you're like, how could you be closer to the sun but not get more I guess light on the surface is the question. Well, you see Venus is covered 2/3 by clouds. So when the light goes into it, it kind of is hard to reach the surface. But then the reason why it's so hot is because it gets trapped in there, because I believe it's 500% more like CO2 in the atmosphere. So it's an insane greenhouse effect that goes on at Venus that just traps in all that heat, and it just makes it insanely hot, and we're unable to live on Venus. So something that hot and whose stock is just going up has got to be Jalen Reagor. Man,
let's go.
500 degrees Celsius is the average surface temperature on Venus compared to 15 degrees Celsius here on Earth. And now,
My goodness.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
All right. Okay.
That's where your money's going, Paul. That's where your money's going.
Yeah. This
I've
was
had that
the open
same
bar.
conversation.
Thank you for joining us. Jeez, dude. All right. And they said you
all
were
right,
gonna
Dad,
use
you're
it,
next.
so- Yeah.
I'm not following that. I'm not following that.
All right. Fine.
I'm not
I'll need
following
some
that.
mushrooms to
I
get
feel.
rolling
I
on
feel.
mine.
Like, you know what? Paul, you might have just got dunked on if you're not gonna go up next. I'm just saying,
Look,
man.
I'm not going. No, I'm not getting dunked on because I'll hit his belly before that happens. He'd fall to his knees on a asphalt. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's talk about title flexing.
What are you talking about?
These are the things that matter. Jupiter's moons.
All right. Well, if Paul's not up next, then who's up next? What do we got? Bill? Bill, you ready? You
Sure,
got
I'm
this?
ready.
All right.
All
Let's
right.
get it.
So we got Mercury. It's small. It's the fastest around the sun. I'm going to equate that to Tyreek Hill. So small guy that just flies around the field. Fastest guy. And that's that. That's all I got.
Okay. Hey, look. Short and simple does win the race because he's short and fast or something like that. Yeah, we nailed it with the 102. All right, Paul, would you like to follow that up? Do you feel more comfortable getting dunked on or be the dunkee?
No, I'll wait.
Jeez. Ryan, the librarian, I know you went straight.
Oh, my God.
to
The librarian. It's not even fair.
Yeah, it's really not.
So this one's easy for me, guys. I mean, some people may take Earth here, but I'm going to take the International Space Station
Okay.
because there's only one of those in the universe, and I mean,
there's only
it's such a valuable asset right now. You know, so many people use that space station. It's so key to our space exploration right now, and I think the International Space Station is kind of like Christian McCaffrey. I mean, a guy that does it all. That's just like, if you look at people that won fantasy championships this past year, it's likely that CMC was on their roster, or maybe Lamar Jackson. But so I'm going with the International Space Station, which is my Christian McCaffrey.
Now
Strong.
that I love.
That's
That
not a
was
good
incredible.
choice.
I love the
Not a
MVP.
good choice.
And I love McCaffrey. All right. What? It's not a good choice. Oh, now Paul's feeling a little
Well-
chatty. Okay. Now what?
Because fifth in line from the sun is Jupiter, by far the largest planet in the solar system, as Saquon Barkley is the best running back in the league. And that's all I got. Drop the mic, Justin. Right on
Okay.
top of you.
Isn't Jupiter more of like an AJ Dillon from the rookie class? I mean, it's like a big planet. You know, we're kind of excited about it, but we don't really know enough about it, how it's going to do in the NFL, because Jupiter's far away. We don't know enough about Jupiter.
I'll agree with that. Now listen, I'm a Giant
Are you
fan.
saying
Barkley's
AJ
my
Dillon's
man. I had
big enough to have 7
I had
moves for a
McCaffrey
bit?
last year. McCaffrey last year was my running back, and he done fantastic for me. But I'm a Giant fan, so I had to.
So you're more about Jupiter than the space station.
Yeah, because it's
Apparently.
large.
That's
Jupiter's like Eddie Lacy.
Just like
yeah,
just like the legs on Barkley.
Jupiter's like Eddie Lacy.
Man,
He's got his own gravitational pull.
The legs
Big
on
boy.
Barkley are large.
That's
Yeah.
fair enough.
Okay. It appears that we have 4 great picks. J Mike, it is between you and I to battle us out for the 105 and 106 of our solar system analogous fantasy football draft. What do you got?
Uh-oh.
Do you want me to go?
Yeah, you go ahead. I think you've got probably some fire here.
Yeah. I mean, I can really only think of one thing, and it's my wife.
Whoa.
Okay. Look, guys, I've
We're
been
listening.
with my wife for a very long time. 2007. See, that's what happens when you've been with someone for a long time. You have to look up and think about it. Okay. So 13 years, guys. I haven't been married to her that long, but come on. High school sweethearts. Look, I'm not that old, but whether it was in high school or college, I'm not entirely sure about this specific fact, but I do know that we have a star together. We picked out a star, did a little our little corny thing. You know, I don't know if anyone does that out there. If you have a heart, okay. But if you do, then you may have picked a star with your sweetheart. Okay. We picked Cassiopeia. Okay. If you're unfamiliar with Cassiopeia, go ahead, just look up. You'll see it. It is in the center of this constellation that is shaped like a W. We are Gearings. All we do is win. Who else wins? People that pick the right players in fantasy football drafts, particularly rookie drafts. I don't want to hear this 101, 102 nonsense between Jonathan Taylor and DeAndre Swift. The one and only pick that matters, that will get you that dub, that Cassiopeia year after year, is Jonathan Taylor. That is my high school sweetheart.
I like it.
Now,
Can you read me a bedtime story?
Does your wife know that one? I think
Wow,
you better
that
tell
was,
her tonight.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, I want to hear you tell her how you've been giving your Cassiopeia away to someone else named Jonathan. That's gonna go over real well.
I mean, and this
Guys,
is why
I
I'm
gotta go.
starstruck.
All right. Yeah, that was spectacular. I appreciated that. And I'm going to be the pumpkin spice latte of this group, be the real basic white girl here. And I'm going to keep it at home base here with Earth. Obviously here, our home planet, only planet that we know so far that's inhabited by living things that we know of. And obviously one of the only planets in our solar system that has liquid water also on the surface. So not only are we a very versatile planet that we inhabit, not only is it something that's just got a ton of swag, a ton of drip to it, if you will, with the water on the surface.
Water, yeah.
But obviously the versatility, the only living things thing on these are all calling cards to just speaking of why we are simply the best in class, if you will. And when you're putting everything together, while CD Lamb may be the Saturn of this group, just having the dazzling icy rings, being the most identifiable planet in the solar system, Justin Jefferson is Earth. Justin Jefferson is the versatility that we need in our rookie drafts. Justin Jefferson is the wide receiver that can go on to any team in the NFL, play in the slot, and be a viable part of the game plan from the jump. Justin Jefferson has the opportunity to go in the first round of NFL drafts. And if he goes in the first round of NFL drafts, he's already been my wide receiver 2 since my tape watching. He will continue to be my wide receiver 2, and I will be happy to scoop him up in the mid to late first rounds all over the place. I rest my case. Justin Jefferson, thank you so much for being my home sweet home. Thank you for being my earth. Thank you for being my wind. Thank you for being my water. By your powers combined, I am Captain Planet, Justin Jefferson. Thank you.
Yes.
So
Too easy.
That was strong. That was strong.
Yeah.
I mean, the best value of the draft, and Justin Jefferson is probably going to be the best value of our rookie drafts. I love that take. The guy's got it all.
I'm really glad.
Listen, you guys had to spend all that money, all that mess trying to get to wherever y'all going. I just had to roll on the ground some. I didn't have to go anywhere. You guys had to spend, who knows? I'm right now, gas is like $1.98 where I'm at. I don't know how much rocket fuel costs. You guys let me know. Let me know how far, how many light years it takes to get wherever you're going.
So I'm surprised nobody went with the Vontaze Burfict Uranus comparison.
Uranus.
Oh, that's good.
Sam.
Oh man.
I like that, J. Mike. Staying
That was
grounded.
that was beautiful, man.
That was
Staying
great.
grounded
That was
on
great.
Earth.
Well done.
Thank you. That was a solid draft. Well done, Gabe. Thank you for believing that we were smart enough to handle this,
Yeah. No, that was fun.
or at least quick enough on Google. One of the
Yeah.
two.
Probably. Yeah. I honestly, I kind of like went, I'll tell you the truth. I went down that road a second and I was like, nah, I'm not going to be able to think of something that quick.
That's a
I'm
lot
just
of
going
thinking, yeah.
to go with something that I already know.
It's funny because I actually have a tab up that says solar system right now.
Yeah. Oh, we all do, except for Justin. He's got his fucking notes out.
Ryan's got his Rolodex in his head.
Guys, we took a field trip to the upside down and look at these notes I have from what I took. It's crazy.
I enjoyed learning that about Venus, right?
It's something. Yeah,
that was cool.
You know?
Strong.
You know,
Very strong.
if you were 20 years old, I think it was the thing about Mercury. It's like if you're 20 years old and one day went by on Mercury, how old would you be tomorrow?
Pretty old.
Answer is 22. Because
That's it?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think it's like one rotation for Mercury, or like one day on Mercury is equivalent to like 2 years on Earth.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I thought you were saying 20 to 20. Okay. Yep. Got
Yeah,
it.
no,
Yeah,
so it's like 2 years. Yeah,
for
I
sure.
don't know, something like that. I don't
Huge.
know.
Huh.
Yeah.
You know, Elon Musk
Just
is out
little
here changing
tidbits.
lives.
Yeah. All right, man. Fellas, men. This was great. Quite amazing. Just amazing stuff here, man. The open bar. How do we do it week after week? It's just really quite fascinating.
We love the open bar. Thank you for having us again.
Of course. And
It's
let's
awesome.
give it to the people. Thank you to the people watching. J Mike will say some kind words about you, but I'm going to say some kind words about the people who joined us tonight. Bill, Justin, Paul, Ryan. I love you guys, but you can't. You can't come in. I'm just kidding. I wasn't going to go all J Mike on you. Bill, I would like for you to say something about yourself, something to the people, something nice, something mean. I honestly, I really don't care. Just say something.
All right. Well, hey, I appreciate it, guys. Man, this was a blast. it was really nice to meet a lot of you guys. I had never met you before, so. But my name is Bill McCarthy. I'm at Super Duplex on Twitter. I have a podcast, Fantasy Timeline. It's at Fantasy Timeline with Josh Valentine. He's at Real Fantasy TL. So we do a live show on YouTube Wednesdays at 9. So if you get a chance, come by, visit us, and we'd love to have you. And I'm starting a new podcast called the Super Flexperts, where it's going to be more of like a interview based. I'm going to have a guest every week, and we're just going to kind of talk theory and strategy and more, a little bit less about news and that sort of thing, but just more, checking into what people's strengths are and talking about that. So, I really appreciate it, guys. This was so much fun.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you.
You're welcome, buddy.
I was hyped to because I see you probably more than most. I was being real earlier that I see you more than most people as far as the so-called chat.
Yeah, man, I love this show.
So appreciate you being here in this circle at least. So big love. Justin, what have you got to say to your dad? Say something nice to your dad before you say anything about yourself.
This ought to be good.
I love dad. I'll say that. I do love my dad. Great dad.
Thanks.
I do know now that I have to go to Massachusetts and get you some gummies. That's what I gotta say. But yeah, thanks for having me on. Always fun. This AirPod doesn't work. This is fake. I don't know. I'm just happy to be here. Happy to slam a White Claw, even though 20% of it got on my shirt, but still worth the cent.
Yeah, we've seen that. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, exactly. It's okay. No test tomorrow. I had to celebrate some way, but Twitter, at Justin FSFF. I do a podcast with who's it with? Some dude. Doesn't really know a lot. He's there though. What's his name? I think it's Paul. There you there. He's somewhere over there. But always pleasure to come on. And Jonathan Taylor 101.
The checks definitely stopped. Good thing you're almost done, kid. Because that's it.
Next up, Subway sandwich artist.
Hey, I'll take that title.
I thought you were going the other way with the public transit. And you brought it back to the sandwich artist.
That's what they call him.
Plot twist. Oh man.
All right. Well, Justin gave his pops a layup, and Paul just said, "Get the fuck out of here," and completely denied it, blocked him, went all Dikembe Magumbo on him, and he says, "This is my house. I raised you here." And now he has some things to say in return to you, Justin, and the people. Paul, what is it?
That's right, everybody. We thank you for inviting us again on the open bar. This is our second time on here. It's been fantastic. What a great time, great show. Good to meet people. Bill, Ryan, I think this is the first time I met you. It's nice to meet you, and hopefully we'll continue doing this going forward. Justin, we started the Father-Son Fantasy Football Podcast. It's been fantastic. I mean, I never thought I'd be doing this with you, but it's a great thing for us to do, to keep in touch even while you're at college. And I love you, son. You're doing great. And thank you guys. Thank you guys for having us on.
Absolutely.
It's all about relationships. Relationships are everything.
I don't think I would be doing a podcast if it weren't for that. So you are 100% correct.
All right.
Father-Son FF. Y'all got the FSFF on the handles. I feel like you're kind of building an empire of sorts. Are you hiring? Are you hiring? Because I just kind of want to put the FSFF on my handle someday. FF Man Bun FSFF.
FFManbun FSFF underscore FF at FF.
Yeah, I just want it for a day, man. Just
What
let
do you
me be a
think?
part of your. Just let me be a part of your family.
He did do our intro song, Justin. What do you think? Let's give it to him.
Hey,
You have to give it to
Hey.
him. You technically have over 50% ownership.
You got it, Gabe. You got it.
just 1/3. Just 1/3. Father, son.
We have
Y'all
no money
thought it was
for you, but
another
you
one.
got it.
I'm in on this college degree too. Little do you know. Okay. I'm investing. All right, fellas. The librarian himself, Ryan. Put the kids to bed already. Come pod with us. What do you got to say?
Well, I have to say this has been a lot of fun as always. Gabe, J Mike, this is like a gift to the fantasy community, this show. It's just so much fun. Bill, Justin, Paul, I've first time interacting with you guys. Loved it. Paul, I got to tell you, if you go to Massachusetts and you go to get some cannabis, don't start with the gummies. Try the mints first. Try the mints
Ooh,
first,
the mints.
and then because they kick in sooner, and because the gummies are a little tricky. But I'm
Write that down.
write that down. I'm one of the co-hosts of the Fantasy Joe's podcast.
I didn't even know there was mints.
He's on Google right now.
So I'm one of the Fantasy Joes. I do a show with at Fantasy Joe _ Will Greenwood is in the chat. What's up, Will? Sometimes Trey Barrett joins us every once in a while. We are the Fantasy Joes. So check us out. We're gonna do a industry mock draft in a couple weeks, so that'll be fun. And that's it. Yeah, this was great, guys, as always. Just a lot of fun to get together. This community is unbelievable. We have so much fun, and yeah, this is a huge part of that. So thank you, guys. Thanks, Gabe. Thanks, Shay Mike. It's been a blast.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Justin, well, you mad?
See you, Justin.
Justin's mad. What
Justin's big mad.
What'd your dad text you? What'd he say?
Me? Mad?
Yeah, what'd he say?
Nah,
He's not mad. I told him I love him. How can he be mad?
I know, right? You started crying, didn't you? You had to go drink a White Claw.
He should have. Yeah, he probably did. He can't be mad at me. Not this time.
Touch. No, I wasn't touched.
He was touched. He was touched by my words.
That's true. All right. J Mike, what do you have to say, my man? What do you got to say, my guy? Hey, I got another one for you. What is it? What did I say in that tweet? Because we're on stars and solar system. Hey, he says he's Mr. Wide Open. Nah, Mr. Polaris. All right. Ooh. The North Star, the brightest, the number one. That's my guy, Mr. Polaris. J Mike, what it do?
I like that one.
That's kind of fire, right? That's kind of fire.
I'm updating my Twitter as we speak, Mr. Polaris. And his profile. Okay, yeah. To the chat. Appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for rocking with us. Whether it was on Periscope, whether it was on YouTube Live, we greatly appreciate you all choosing. Out of all the places that you could be on a random Tuesday night in March, you decided to be here and kick it with not only 6 of your favorite fantasy homies here in the open bar, but also with everybody else in the chat. You all kept it lit, and we enjoy being able to watch and follow and have that community in there. So thank you all for the time. We appreciate you. To everyone that's not checking us out live on YouTube or live on Periscope, we still appreciate you for checking out the podcast. So thank you for rocking with us there, whether it be on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Podbean, Spotify, you name it, we're there. Your boys from the open bar are making it happen. So if you would, please, if you'd be so kind, we'd appreciate you to rate and review us. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, The Open Bar, on YouTube. But if you don't want to rate or you don't want to subscribe, it's all good. Share us with a friend. And if you don't even want to do that, that's okay too. God bless you. We appreciate you for rocking with us. And thanks again for at least hearing us out and spending 2+ hours with your boys here. And I think that's all that I need to shout out. A couple things I do want to slide in real quick. Trey Barrett, you're awesome. We hopefully, I don't know, you're probably not listening to this. You're too busy doing amazing things down in North Carolina. So wherever you are, Trey, you are missed on the Fantasy Joes. Love listening to Ryan, love listening to Will. But Trey, I miss you as well, considering I get to give you all sorts of crap in our Kamikaze League chat. I will continue to do so. But we miss you hearing you there. Josh Valentin from the Fantasy Timeline, Bill's other half. Congratulations to you on the new addition to your family. And I'm excited to hear very soon, Gabe. I don't know if I told you about this, but I got the honor of being a guest on the Fantasy Timeline, and in doing so, off the air, we decided that I am actually going to be sending Josh 2 cans of Skyline chili. So I'm going to make that happen. I'm going to make that happen here this week. I'm going to be heading to the grocery store. 2 cans of Skyline chili headed Josh's way. He said he's going to record it. He's going to eat one for himself. He's going to feed the other one to his homies, let them know what's up. And he's not even going to tell them what's going on. So, the trick's on them. So, spoiler alert. We'll see how that works out for you. I'm going to go with #not good. On Twitter, your boy can be found at JMikeCheck, at JMICCheck. You can find the show's handle at The Open Bar Pod. And you can find the host with the most, a main man, Mr. Intro himself, Mr. Steal Your Girl, Mr. Line of Best Fit, Mr. Fridge So Big, he's shop for the leftovers, Mr. About to be a Pops, Mr. Papa Gearing, Mr. Papa G. Don't call him Mr. Gearing unless you nasty. Because if you do, you don't know what you dealing past me. On Twitter at FFManBun. Gabe, take us home.
Take us home, Gabe.
Wow. What an evening. What a delight. What a pod. Thanks everyone again. Thanks for the podcast listeners at this point. I don't know. We're probably going to come back next week. J Mike, is that true? I'm going to be on spring break, man. And it's St. Patrick's Day. Is it? Yeah, wait. Yeah, it is. St. Patrick's Day. Dude, look at you.
Been practicing.
For those still not here and and live form, J Mike is just bigging up that fridge, man. He is so big with that fridge. I don't know. I don't have anything to say. We're gonna be back next week. I think J Mike has guests lined up. You know what? Let's see. What do I got? Okay, this week someone or last week someone mentioned the DTC podcast, and we mentioned it in this show. J Mike has a subscription to the DTC, the Dynasty Trade Calculator. Shouted out that a couple of times, and I made an intro or two for them, and I got some love on Twitter for that intro, and I just wanted to shout out that podcast, that organization altogether, for allowing me to create an intro for you. So go and check that podcast out. They really did some things. I'm not just like plugging shit for no reason. Like, they really actually did some things this offseason, as far as being able to bring in your team.
League import. That was crazy.
League import. Like, that's incredible. That's why J Mike is talking about his teams all the time on this podcast, is because he imported them into DTC and he has nothing better to do. So go and do that. Go and get a subscription. Love all those guys. Jay Pizzy, Izzy, Mosier on the beat. Yeah, that's all I got, man. Good old community we got out here. Let's get out of here. Where the heck's my White Claw? All right.
Holy man.
Cheers up to everyone. What a beautiful time this is.
That White Claw empty? That's an empty can,
sure.
Isn't it,
Yeah.
Justin?
Hey.
Now it's an empty can.
No doubt about it now.
Go and wash your hands.
Yeah.
And we will see y'all next week. Deuces.